Hi, welcome to Digital Information Technology here at Florida Virtual School. This welcome video is to set you up for success in our course, so please just sit back and get ready to learn. Oh, and remember, if you didn't quite understand something I covered, you can always pause, rewind, and just watch it again. So first, let's talk a little bit about Digital Information Technology, or DIT as sometimes you'll hear us call it. The lessons are very interactive, which keeps you engaged, and it's not just reading from a textbook. You'll be learning all about technology, and there's lots of videos throughout the course, which is very helpful. You will be using Office Online, which is free, and we will be covering Word, PowerPoint, and Excel all online. There will also be a collaboration opportunity, which we'll get to. This is an example of what your teacher's home page looks like. At the top, you'll notice the shortcuts to your lessons, your assessments, the main menu, and your email. A little below that, you'll see the round buttons for the note-taking guides for each module. I suggest that when you're going through the modules, you use these note-taking guides to assist you in taking notes that can be used on the quizzes, the post-tests, and even your final exam. Right under those in the center, you have your teacher's contact information, which is super important, obviously. So go ahead and store that information in either your phone or tablet. You'll also find contact information for a co-teacher and a lead teacher as well, so you have a variety of people to contact if you have any questions or need assistance. On the bottom left, you'll find the PACE information, which I'm going to elaborate on more in just a few. And on the right, you'll find lots of helpful buttons, but I do want to point out the Collaboration Live Lesson button, which we'll talk about more as well. Understanding how to navigate the course is where we're going to start. As I mentioned on the last slide, at the top you have shortcuts to lessons, assessment, the home page, and email, but this is what the main menu looks like when you click on those three little lines. It allows access to everything in the course. I do want to point out that this is how you access your grade book, since there's no shortcut for that. You'll want to check out your grades every time you log into the course, so it's important you know how to do so. So we're going to take a look at most of these, but let's first start with lessons. When you click Lessons from either main menu or the shortcut, you'll be brought to the Lessons page. Here you'll be able to find the Get Started information by clicking that orange button, which I will want you to do after you watch this video. You'll also find the collaboration assignment details, which, as promised, I'll cover in just a little bit. Lastly, your lessons are broken down into what we at Florida Virtual School call modules. There are 8 modules in this particular course. Modules 1, 2, 3, and 4 are for Segment 1, and modules 5, 6, 7, and 8 are for Segment 2. So let's take a look at what you'll see if you click on the first circle, Module 1, Digital Survival Kit. This is what Module 1, Lesson 1 looks like. On the navigational bar at the top, you'll see that there are a few options, such as the glossary, where you can look up terms. Moving to the center right, you'll see the names of all the lessons in Module 1. You'll see that there are 5 lessons for Module 1. You'll also see the estimated time to complete the lesson, as well as the point value given to that particular lesson's assignment or quiz. Not all of the lessons you read will have an assignment or a quiz to complete, but again, it's very critical that you read each lesson and you take notes, because the end of the module post-test or the discussion-based assessments that you'll be doing with your teacher cover all the material from the readings in the module. And of course, as I mentioned before, those are open notes. As you read along in the lessons, you'll see that there are interactive tasks that you'll need to complete. Completing these interactives are a must, as their concepts are also included on those module post-tests. Sometimes vocabulary words will be highlighted in orange, and you do have to put your mouse on top of those words in order to see the definition. Or you might have to click on certain images in the interactive, again, to see more information listed. In addition to completing the interactives, you'll also want to click the text version below the interactive itself. The text version is a great resource for you as you're taking notes. Next, let's talk about submitting your work. This area of the course is called Assessments, and remember there's a shortcut for it at the top. When you open Assessments, you'll see a listing of links for every assignment in the course. This is where you'll attach files to be graded, and it's also where you'll enter your exams or quizzes that you need to take. Remember, you will want to check your course email and gradebook every time you sign in, because you are allowed to resubmit some of your assignments. Those resubmissions, though, are actually sent to your teacher from the gradebook area of the course, not the assessments. Once you submit an assessment, it will disappear from this list. So again, be sure to not only check your email, but also check your gradebook every day as well. Now let's talk about some of the assessment types. So in DIT, you will have quizzes, exams or post-tests, and DBAs. So quizzes are short, usually about 5 questions, and they can actually be reset by you and taken up to 3 times. Just remember that third attempt will be your final grade on that quiz. Post-test and your final exams can only be taken once, and these obviously are a little bit longer. This is why notes again are so important. Then you have DBAs. There are 2 DBAs for segment 1 and there are 2 DBAs for segment 2, and these must be done over the phone with your teacher. Another assessment type are assignments, or sometimes you'll hear us call these projects. This is a chance for you to show off your skills that you've learned in the lesson and get creative. Your teacher will also have very thorough feedback for you on your projects. And you will learn more about Office Online in the course, but I did want to point out quick how important it is to first download your document from Office Online, which is kind of like a cloud of storage for you. And you need to download that to your actual computer before you can submit it. And this is what it will look like when you submit a project. You can add text for your teacher to read here, if it's required. Then you attach the file down here. Once you've double checked everything and you're ready to submit, you check the box Submit for Grading, and lastly, you'll click on Submit. The last assessment type that we have is the collaboration. What most teachers recommend is attending that live lesson collaboration, which does give you an opportunity to work with other students in the course. You can check out the schedule and how to join by clicking the blue Collaboration Live Lesson button on the home page of the course. So you may be wondering by now, what other requirements are there for this course, right? Well, I think you've pretty much guessed by now that you do need a computer with internet access. That's going to be vital. You'll need to access the course and your email. You will also need a phone to call your teacher for those DBAs. And if you have a cell phone, you are welcome to text your teacher any quick questions or if you want to check in. But just so you know, sorry, no DBAs are done via text. You also need the Office Online account, but don't worry, we'll cover that more in Module 2. We do have some extra resources for you as well. If you're stuck on something when doing a project, you first want to check the video gallery, which is located at the top of every module up here. Click Videos. And also remember that we have resources on the home page of that course as well. So now let's talk a little bit about PACE. You'll hear this mentioned in about every phone call you have with your teacher. Although PACE charts are linked on your teacher's home page, like I pointed out over here, some students do prefer to create their own PACE chart, and just please keep in mind that there is a minimum seat time requirement of 14 days per semester. So in other words, you cannot finish segment 1 or segment 2 before 14 days each. Also, the first 14 days you're active in the course is your grace period in the course. It's important that you are on or ahead of PACE with a passing grade in order to remain active beyond that grace period in DIT. If you're interested in making your own PACE chart, you can do that. You'll want to click right here where I have highlighted in orange, and you can create your own PACE chart. Otherwise, you'll just want to choose one of the PACE charts that we provided for you on the home page that works best for you. Academic integrity at FLVS is obviously critical. You'll be covering this specifically in the Get Started section on the Lessons page that I asked you to complete after this video. There's an entire module dedicated to academic integrity, but I did take this from there just to kind of give you a heads up. Some violations of academic integrity that are probably not a surprise to you are like plagiarism, copy and pasting, submitting another student's work. You don't want to use answer sites. You always want to protect your password and your own work. But again, more of this will be covered in that Get Started section. So lastly, let's talk about the expectations for getting started in this course. Obviously, ongoing communication with your teacher is going to be vital, but I'd like to add that any communication that you initiate on the weekends, whether it be like Saturday or Sunday, will always be returned on the following Monday. Otherwise, teachers will return your calls and emails within 24 hours, and assignments will always be graded within 48 hours, again, not including the weekends. You can always move on to the next assignment while waiting for the response from the teacher if you have that question. Teachers must have monthly contact with parents as well, which this may be new for you and or your parent, but it's a great way for keeping everybody in the loop. And lastly, again, as I've mentioned, you'll want to go through the Get Started section of the course, and then please call or set up an appointment for your welcome call with your teacher as soon as possible. Well, that's it. Thanks so much for your time, and good luck in digital information technology. We're so happy to have you in class.